Most traders drown in charts and still miss the real levels. Get clear daily roadmaps for the S&P 500 futures. Levels, setups, and strategies that matter. Delivered straight to your inbox pre-market every morning. Subscribe now on Substack. Conquer the markets.
Welcome and cheers. Happy Thursday. I'm your host, Ryan Bailey, and you've reached the S&P Edge Post-Market Breakdown. We had a great day today. Today was awesome, actually. And before we get into that, as usual, if you haven't followed me, please make sure you do so. If you're watching this, my assumption is you probably are following. But if you're not, check me out. All my socials are Ryan Bailey Edge on YouTube, X, and Substack. Put out daily trade plans Tuesday through Sunday. Tuesday through Friday, and I do a trade review on Sunday for the week. And I am right now giving away 30 days of these trade plans. See the link in this post when we're done. If you're on YouTube, it's in there right now. And Substack, it'll be in there shortly. And I've tweeted it 100 times. You can find it. But if not, it'll be in this post at the conclusion of this whole ordeal. So make sure we get that accomplished. And I have to say, toasting a little to myself here. We've had an amazing week. The levels have played phenomenal. And everybody that's following along in the trade plans, killing it. And so we have had a lot of new people come in to the trade plans recently. Clearly people like what we're doing or what I'm doing here on this stream. And I'm very thankful for that. So first and foremost, I want to thank everybody who is a new subscriber because we've had a lot. We've had a lot of new people in the room too, which is phenomenal. And they're already getting their money's worth. I've had a guy who just came in there and he's been putting up green every day, and $500 or more. I'm proud of him. And he just started. He's been there like maybe a week, so it's great. These guys follow the trade plans to the T, and we make it work, which is phenomenal. So big salute to you guys, and I appreciate all the nice things that you said. I'm leading these guys to a path of victory and consistency here, and that's what this is all about. That's what these trade plans are about. It is about 100% going into the day, every day with a plan, only executing on the levels that are pre-planned, and everything else is noise. And that's how you remain consistent. That's how you keep your FOMO under control. And that is also how you keep from over trading. So that is what I teach. That is what we are practicing. And the Discord room is where it's all going down. So if you are currently a Substack subscriber or you are on a free trial, if you subscribe to the Substack, I will hook you guys up with some Discord access. It is totally worth it. Come check it out. I'm talking all day in exclusive channels, and people are getting insights as we, just make things happen and call live action trades and the whole 9 yards. So let's go ahead and talk about this. And one of the guys in the room actually brought this up. It made me laugh. I want to show this because I think this is good. This is the video that I did for the weekend review. So look at this. This was on Sunday. Our price was here. We talked about coming into this weekly at 68.83 and then just falling all the way down. And look where we're at, 67.23. Well, we are pretty close to that. We got down to 44.50 today, 44.75. We came into this level here. And when I was drawing this line, I knew that, or I didn't know anything, but my thought process was it would be somewhere between 44 and 23 is where we would find some significant support. So I thought this was awesome. When he showed this to me, it made me laugh because I do so much content and I talk a lot in the room and I'm constantly drawing stuff. And he pulled this out today. He's like, bro, this worked out exactly like you said. He's like, yeah, I pushed through the high like by 5 or 6 points, but big deal. And we are exactly where I thought we would end up. And so I wanted to share this with you guys. I thought this was phenomenal. This was literally called on Sunday and today is Thursday. And so nothing like being able to trust in the process and having a good idea of what could potentially happen and being prepared for it. The other thing that I thought was great was right here, we want to get underneath 55 and then we can get some continuation down. Well, I don't know if you guys recall, but 50-55 was the big level yesterday that we ended up buying and taking for our fantastic long up 30-40 points. They actually played the same level in the overnight. Again, they played 52 or something. And so, this was just screaming at us for more down. But it was interesting because this level actually presented itself, as you can see right here, even on Sunday. So it's amazing how we can use the trade plans to look ahead. And these levels are predetermined. We go into this with an actionable plan every single day. And this just shows you this is, 5 days out. And this thing played out almost perfectly. So good stuff. I wanted to share that with you. It made me laugh when he brought that up. So I was a little shocked. I was like, damn, I totally forgot about that. So coming into the day, we had a little lean to the downside, and I'll explain to you why. So this was the current market context. This is actually, I always make sure that everybody can see this. This is like a little sneak peek. Actually, when I put the trade plans out, I let people see the news. I let them see the options of all levels, not the gamma, but the options of all. And then I do a market context so that people who are, on the free side, they can get a little taste of what we do. So this was out there for everybody. I even said that we currently have not lost any time frame, neither daily nor 4 hour, but we're slowly losing support on the smaller leg. I'm starting to see potential weakness. The smack at the highs in the morning was a big signal for me to be cautious, and we could potentially see more down. It all comes down to, drum roll please, that would be our 68.50 spot. Beautiful. All right. That's what's up. So that was the big spot that we lost this morning. I was actually short pre-market, and that was also the high of the midday pop, which we'll get into really, really soon here. So very important to keep that in mind. So let's see what else I got here. The other thing. So I'm going to pull this up first. And for those of you who look at the trade plans, know that this is the type of chart that I put in there for you guys to look at, because I don't truly know what's going to happen, right? But we know if we do this, then this will happen. If we do that, then that happens. And so you can see that we had our brackets here above 1801 and the 1735 monthly, which we wanted to get below. Okay. So that's what that looks like. If you've never seen it before, this is how I outline all the charts for everybody so they can get an idea of what we're looking at. Okay. Now, here's the analysis that was given. VIX is slightly elevated this morning. Excuse me, that's some strong coffee. And it has been bumping its head all night on the 1801, which is extremely significant for us yesterday. If you recall, we got a huge smack from 1801 yesterday, okay? And actually twice now it's brought us down. So the idea was right here, see, this was the smack, this was the smack, okay? So if they pop above 1801, we will get a push down in the indices. This is clearly an important line of resistance. I have no untested resistance until 1952, which is right here, the untested daily, okay? If that level reacts, we want to see follow through below the 1913. Well, we end up getting a smack at 1952, but it pulled back and held the 1913. We didn't get the follow through acceptance that we were looking for. So when that happened, we were fairly confident we were going to continue to keep moving up in the VIX. Now, this was a very big deal for us this morning because right out of the gate, I was warning people, hey, be careful here. This is looking pretty shady. We already played. So the other thing that we did, and I didn't even actually, let me see if I'll just show you guys too. I know this is kind of on the fly. I wasn't expecting this, but if you recall on this market context here, I talk about the smack at the highs this morning was a big signal for me. Okay, well, what is the smack at the highs that you're talking about, Ryan? Well, let's just take a look here. Okay, and I actually saw this at about 6:30 in the morning, and I posted this for the peeps in the room before I even sat down on the computer. And let's see what we got. Where are we at? Here we go. Oh, maybe it's in here. But I think it's important for you to see this. So let me find it. I could have swore I had it in there, but let's see. Look at this. My new guy putting up money. Another $500 today by this guy. Proud of this guy. He's doing great. He's following the trade plans to the T. He's getting paid. It's awesome stuff. So I want to show you this because it's super important. I'm sorry that I didn't have this more prepared. Here we go. All right. So this was at 6:35 this morning. The ES is smacking the daily from the overnight highs formed yesterday at 68.91. We can make new lows today, maybe even see the 20s. We shall see. So as you can see, the 68.91.25 was the big level that I was eyeing this morning. And we had been talking about getting down into the 20s yesterday. Now, we knew 55 was a monster. And when I saw this smack here, when I woke up, I'm like, okay, that's it. VIX is bumping its head on the 1801. And we've got a daily smack at the highs. We are coming down, people. And so, yeah, you can see here's another picture of it. And this is on the 1 hour time frame. And, just showed me right there. I was like, okay, we're weak as hell. And I was immediately short right out of the gate this morning, just to show you guys what was cooking here, just because I had so much confidence. This is what, as soon as the 1801 started poking its head above, this thing was going. And you can see I was short as soon as I got to my computer and took it down to 52. Now, obviously, looking in hindsight, that was nothing, but it was a great, 20-point scalp right off the rip, actually a little bit more, 68 to 53. So not 68, 15 points. So still very happy with it. It was great. It was a great way to start the day before the bell even rang. So that was super cool. All right. So now let's talk about what did we do today? Well, we know everything that the outlook wise. So let's talk about what we did. So I put this out on Twitter. This is a little messy. I actually added a few things to it. So this is SPX. And for those of you guys who know what's up with the trade plans, and I'll just show you this. This is what a trade plan looks like. I give the little spiel in the morning, the current market context in the vol for everybody. And then this is where it comes into the paid side. Okay. So what is important here, what I keep wanting to show you guys is even though I focus on ES levels, here's our gamma levels. Even though I focus on ES levels, I still point out the significant SPX levels because I follow this all day. I follow SPX, I follow VIX, I use it as confluence. SPX is the OG, guys. I mean, it is the market, right? The futures are a derivative. And so I follow this because it helps me with precision and dialing things in. And also like, oh, there's a daily here, there's a daily here. Okay, they've married with each other. It's going to be good. Okay, so that's how I essentially put these two together. So I wanted to show you that even though I don't necessarily talk about SPX, it's in here every day. And there's a reason that it's in here, and this is a good one, okay? So right here, we've been talking about this. I actually talked about this level on the stream all week. This is not a surprise. We talked about it yesterday. This was our 50 area right here. Right here, our main pivot, 16.1975 through 22.25. There we go. We have a daily at 22, a 4 hour at 1975. This area is massive and so very important. This is our main pivot, okay? Now here you go. This area needs to hold, all right? We want to see 22 and 19 hold, then get back above 29 and ultimately 32 for continuation. This trade could squeeze all day long and be a fantastic trade. Well, it didn't squeeze all day long, but a fantastic trade indeed. As you can see, it played this 19 down here and held. We got back above 32 and boom, we came right up into 50. Now 50 was the high. I was long from way lower and started adding into 32. So I think everybody in the room made money on this trade. I mean, I don't think there was one person in the room that didn't. The reason that I wanted to show you this was the equal of SPX. So SPX came into the daily at 67.96, which was in the trade plan. Again, I didn't talk about it, but I certainly highlighted it for those of you guys who are paying attention. 96 right here with a block around it, up or down, right? And so I'm, giving you guys all the pieces of the puzzle. All you got to do is click the button. It's right there. And this was an absolute banger. Now, what's funny is, and I don't know if I cut that part off or what, but this is kind of funny. I don't know if maybe I cut that off. Let's look. Oh yeah. right here. So this is that spot. The fail scenario, a push below this level, we would need to be extremely cautious as we could come all the way down to 67, 88.50 or lower. Well, first, let's go back to this. We want to get underneath 55 and then we can get some continuation. Well, we were initially short below 55. We came up and guess what? We smacked 50 and continuation we got indeed. No question about that. This thing shit all over itself today. And, that's one thing about the ES that you can be sure of. This thing loves to stair step up. It may take, a week or 2 weeks to, move a couple hundred points. In this case, it took, 3-4 days, and they'll erase it all in one day. And then they'll do it again. They'll stair step back up. So, the ES's cells are always so violent. And then we squeeze back up. And one of the things that you can normally guarantee is that if we had a mad rush to the downside, we'll have an equal squeeze back to the upside. And we're going to get to that here in a second here, because I'm starting to get to where with the stuff that I'm looking at. Okay. So like I said, if we get below the 29, let's not forget this, we can come to 88.50 or lower, right? Well, 88.50, we've talked about that a few times. So this wasn't like an amazing trade, but it sure as fuck paid the bills. So here's the 88.50 major target, failures major target. If the 1975 fails, this is the next major target. So for those of you guys who know, I like this cheat sheet quite a bit. This is so easy that way you don't have to have the trade plan. It's right here. You can just kind of get an idea of what's happening. And I have the actionable setup in here as well. So once again, this was not only 88 on ES, but this was also an SPX level. So let me see if I got my pen, see if it's working today. See if it wants to play games. Don't play games with me. Hang on, let's see here. Play games. All right, so as you can see right here, this purple line, that's the 88, okay? Now, we pulled back into the 83, which was a 1 hour that we had, which was literally the 1 hour leg end. I mean, it was the nasty lasties. And we held it, right? And we popped up and we made it to 05. Now, if you were long from 88, like most of us were, there was a nice 15, 17 point pop here. If you were able to get in from the 83, it paid over 22 points. That was phenomenal. But the real thing that I wanted to show you, the reason why I was telling the people in the room, like, I'm long this trade, I'm taking this trade, was once again, we came into the daily on SPX at 67.60 and it popped. And there you go, like 22 points right there. Bam, this money shot and almost to the tick. I mean, these things are just, the precision is outrageous. And, if you haven't noticed, we don't really miss, which is pretty freaking awesome, because they say that trading is a game of like you can't be precise. And one thing it is a game of probabilities, but we certainly try to dial it in as close as possible. And that's what's up. So that is two great trades that we had. We actually had some more trades at the lows, but I didn't have them in the trade plan because I got to be honest, I didn't expect us to come down this far today. So I actually stopped at 88 as far as writing the trade plan. It came down a little bit farther than I expected. Okay. So that was a little something. But I will show you this. So this was really interesting. So right here, this is actually a different post. I screenshotted this. And as you can see, this is a screenshot. And I took a picture of this. We had some singles in this profile, and I posted everybody. They got some shit to clean up lower, right? Well, guess what? Here we are. Here's the aftermath. They cleaned this shit up. And look, this is where we end up closing. We bounced nice off of this, 20 points. You know what that level was? And we talked about it before. We talked about it in the weekend review. And I just showed it to you in a picture. That was the 44.75. Played great, almost to the tick, right? Cleaned up the profile, played great, popped above 57. And just really, really nice action here. Really nice action. And I'll show you. Look, I'm just going to keep it on there. Look at that cleanup. To the tick cleanup. Amazing. That's what's up. And we came right up into the daily pivot. So now the real question is what happens next? That is a beautiful question. That is what we all want to know, right? Well, I don't have a crystal ball, that's for sure. But I do have an idea of what needs to hold and what happens if we don't. So let's go ahead and take a look at that too. And I'm just going to pull over some higher time frame stuff. Don't laugh at my chart here. It's got crazy lines on it. I'm going to probably redraw tonight just because this shit is out of control. So I'm going to go over to the higher time frame. And I'm actually going to pull this up as well. So first and foremost, we talked about this 83 on Sunday, and this thing got hit hard. And if you recall, one of the things that I didn't like on Sunday was this weekly close that was below 61.75. I talked about it. I'm like, I don't like that. Like, something about it, it just weak as hell, right? Because they did all that rally, they did all that bullshit, and then you're going to close underneath the leg down. That was pretty soft to me. Okay. So that was my first indication that, had my antennas up. I'm like, I don't know. But then we squeezed anyway, right? So at this point, I'm like, okay, 68.83 is choice. Like, we're going to there at a minimum. And we talked about that a bunch of times and in the room. And we talked about it on the Outlook. Again, look, he said, like, I thought it was a weak ass weekly close, but here we go, like right to 83. So this thing is getting some serious love right now, but we are now in a pivotal area where it is absolutely make it or break it for this thing. Of course, we have to lean to the long side because that's what the deal is. But I want to remain cautious because we are starting to get to a time where, we're really at this tipping point where it can all go south right here. And I think tomorrow, is tomorrow Friday? Is tomorrow Friday? Tomorrow is... What is tomorrow? Tomorrow is Friday. Yes. Tomorrow's going to be a big day. So I don't know what news is going to happen tomorrow. Actually, let's just find out. Shit. I'm curious because tomorrow is going to be a monster day. I've got everybody asking me, hey, what's going to happen? What do we do? Oh, fuck, I don't know. Shit. Let me look here. Hang on. I get done trading. I go walk my dog. I come back. It's time for the stream. I'm like, have a few minutes to get prepared. So here you go. So no news again tomorrow, but we have FOMC members on the horn all day. Well, they're always good for a shake. So we need to, keep this in mind. Why is gold rising on government reopening? That's coming next. I got a good one for you there. So we're going to talk about that too. And here's the deal. All right. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and close this. Let's see if my pen works. Where's my pen? Where's my pen at? You bastard. Why does it do this to me? It hates me. It hates me. It's only when I'm doing this with you guys. Other than that, it works fine. I don't understand the deal. So here's the realness of it, okay? I did not want to close below 22 today. And everybody in here knows I thought 22 was going to send us, right? And it did. 30 points. Okay, cool. Like, I'll check that bag, whatever. But at the same time, I knew that if we were going to get underneath this area, we've got a serious issue. Okay. But they've already basically completed or have started to complete what I would consider part of the process. Okay. So where's my pin? I just reset it. Here you go, you little bastard. Let's try it. Okay. All right. So this is our leg up right now. Right. And then this is technically our daily leg in. And we still have this one over here that's untested, which is the leg to the high. Okay. Which I like this a lot. All right. So I like both of these areas a lot. In all actuality, I like 38.75, probably better than 23. We also have the 50-day moving average right here at 37. Okay. So as soon as we close below the 68.22, which was today, basically, that pretty much tells us that we're going to come to the leg end. Well, we damn near got there already. Okay. So we've made a lot of progress to get down here all in one day. So this is what has to hold, guys. I mean, it's got to be 37, 38.75 or 37.23.50. This has to hold, has to. You see my face? Has to. If it doesn't, this thing is so fucked. Okay. So, we're basically, if it closes below 23, we make new lows underneath 660. And then there's nothing down here. I wouldn't buy any of this. Nothing, not a fucking thing. Right. It's all tested. It's all wiped. And, for that for that alone, I hope it holds. I mean, we don't have any support until way down here. I don't even have it charted. I'd have to chart it and figure it out. Let's look at from the weekly. I don't even know. There you go. Somewhere down here, 62, 68, basically. And there might be something in here. I don't know. But, just looking at these weekly legs, this all looks tested. Basically 62, 68 from a weekly time frame, which is far as fuck from here. But, that would be awesome because I would love to have a pullback and something to buy. But with that being said, let's get back to let's get serious about this because this thing, nothing bad ever happens. We all know that until you're long and then you get smoked. But this is what's got to hold, guys. And if this holds, and we have a nice 50 here. If this holds, we come down, we need to be back above 38. And then here's our big significant pivot at 74. This has been big a few times. We get back above this. And don't forget 68.05. Okay. Now, let's just throw this out there. Here's my qualms with this, right? And it's not really a qualm. If we hold this leg, so here's how it works, right? If we hold this leg, the chances of us coming down and making a new high are probable and highly probable. Okay. However, let me take a look at this chart and see. Okay. All right. This is now untested. And this is now untested. So now we have some serious major resistance above us. So if we play these levels down here, and I'm not too worried about 70. Well, 74 actually is, it says we closed above it, but we're back underneath it now after the cash session close. This is technically untested. So is 68.05, which is a monster. We all know that. We've played that 100 times. And then we've got the 68.22 that played today for 30 points. Not only that, but it's the 4-hour leg. Let's not forget that, right? So right here, it's the 4-hour leg at 1975, and 22 is the daily. Now, we're coming off a daily, so I'm literally looking for resistance around these dailies and no other smaller time frame. But this is a good one. I'm concerned here, right? So if they hold this leg, this is where I think could happen. But I drew this in the room for the peeps today. This is one of my textbook plays, and I think that this is a beautiful wing play. Okay, this is a great wing play right here. We've met all the criteria to make this happen. It actually goes down a little farther. We've met all the criteria to make this happen, and this is a possible hold. So I'm going to look for this to basically hold on tomorrow. And, we could really kind of dive into it a little bit more. I'll save that for the people in the room and the people in the trade plans. But we have this 38 that hasn't been tested. I'm going to look for acceptance back over 44. And worst case, we come down and play 23, which is also a super important level. It's the previous weekly value area low. So, we're all the way back. If you guys remember, we talked about this. Remember, I was like, I made the comment. I'm like, we retraced this whole week in 2 days. We were right up here. I'm like, that is fucking crazy. Now we're getting ready to be all the way back down here by the value area low. So we've gone all the way up and all the way down in a week's range, in a monster week's range in a week. So pretty wild price action that we've had. We've had some insane squeezes. And what's interesting is I really feel like a lot of it hasn't even been news driven. It's just been, awesome price action that's made for trading. So super excited about this week. And tomorrow is just going to be so important, you guys. I am really looking forward to seeing what happens. I'm a little, I don't want to say I'm nervous, but this is going to if they hold this shit, it's the end of the bull run for a minute. And I don't mean like it's over because this thing is so high up here that, we can come down and play that weekly and, way down here and get it going. But, it'll be the top for a while. That's for damn sure. And so, I want to see this hold. I really do. I want to see this hold. I want to keep going. We're into the end of the year. Let's finish this year strong. I think a lot of people feel the same way. So we'll see what happens. This 50 days screaming at me. And for those of you guys who have been monitoring this, and we've talked about this too, they've been riding this 50. Riding it. Let's go. Right? Riding it. So let's see if we continue to ride it. we've got a lot of reasons to believe that this thing can continue to go higher. And so we'll see. We shall see. So that is that. Okay. I mean, that is that. Now I'm going to bust through a few quick things real fast and then we'll leave it at that. First, for those of you guys who were on the stream yesterday, you guys saw me chart gold. My boy pointed this out. You guys saw me chart gold. We did it in the room, or we did it in the stream. And then he hollers at me. He's like, dude, the resistance was great. He's like, but the support? He's like, look at that. It played to the tick. It played for the tick for 50 or $30. Like, that is some serious Lucci. So if you don't believe the process, you better think again, because we charted this on live stream from a blank chart. I did it real fast just to show you guys what's up. And then boom, there you go. So if you want to look more into the gold trade, obviously check that out. The other thing, Bitcoin, boo, getting bombed. Uh-oh, we in trouble. And what are we going to do? Well, again, looking at 96.4 to 94.5. I like this area to play and sweep and get back up, but ultimately it's hard not to love the leg end at around 86,000, 82,000, somewhere in there. So let's call it mid 80s. This is super juicy, but they rarely give us what we want. They give us what we deserve. So maybe we only deserve this sweep play in the 94 and then a reclaim back to 114. We'll see what happens. The other thing, I see a lot of talk about Sol. People love Sol. Guess what? You're about to get thrashed. Sol is coming to 106. They played this weekly up here. I should have shorted this thing. Wasn't even thinking about it, but looking at it now in hindsight, I'm like, good Lord. And, our next leg is over here at 106. So long way down, guys. We're certainly going to be making a new low under this low for certain. What happens down here, we'll see. I mean, it may hold. It looks like a good spot. There's a lot of context. And if you like Sol, if you're into it, 106 is a great place to buy. So that is what I got for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed this. Please like and follow. Tell your friends. If you're not subscribed, use the link to sign up for a free 30 days. And send me your thoughts. Like and follow and all that so other people know. But send me your thoughts. Tell me what you like about this. Tell me what you want to see me improve on. I'm always happy to take information from people or comments, constructive criticism, and just make this as good as possible for everyone because I'm doing it to help. And I'm helping you. I'm helping me. And so let's help each other. So again, look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow for the AM trade plans. And I will see you tomorrow at the same time, same channel. No, actually, tomorrow's Friday. I won't be here. I got the day off. Well, that be it. I'll see you gentlemen in the room, and everybody else, I will see you on Sunday. Deuces.